UFC 319 just went down in my home city of Chicago, and Khamzat Chimaev smoked Drickus du Plessis. He threw him around like a rag doll. Drickus du Plessis' wrestling is just about non-existent at the level of Khamzat Chimaev. Yet all these great fighters were picking Drickus du Plessis. The list went on and on and on. I mean, people gave a lot of love to DDP, even though we never saw the wrestling. That's why I bet on Khamzat Chimaev. 4 out of 5 on my most confident picks this card. Feeling good about that. And a clean sweep with the bets that I gave out on Monday night. That was Nursultan Ruziboyev, plus 150. Khamzat Chimaev. Lerone Murphy at plus 165. Diego Ferreira and Loopy Godinez. Problem is, 2 of those fights didn't make it to the dance. My favorite fucking bets, Nursultan Ruziboyev and Diego Ferreira, had their opponents pull out and fucked up my bets. We'll talk about it. I'll break down the entire card for UFC 319. We're starting at the top with Boars, the Wolf. Khamzat Chimaev was able to spam takedowns. I know you're frustrated. I know it wasn't the most exciting thing you've ever watched. But if the topic is betting money, that was a very low-risk way for Khamzat Chimaev to become the champion. You got to admit, that's the type of shit you can bet on, right? Khamzat Chimaev was a solid, whether it's a straight money line, you caught it at the minus 180 that I caught it at fucking 2 months ago. Or if you waited until today and you got that minus 220, I did. I threw it in with Michael Venom Page. Either way, Khamzat Chimaev was a fucking lock. He was able to do to Drickus du Plessis what we had not seen at that level before. This isn't Derek Brunson. Khamzat is a whole different level of wrestling, and that's why earlier in the week I was saying, this idea that Khabib has of striking with Drickus du Plessis, it's not the best plan A. That's why Drickus's wrestling, that you heard DC compare it. He said, high school kids know how to 2-on-1 the wrist. He had DC pulling the high school kids quotes. You know what I'm saying? He got out wrestled bad by Khamzat. It was not close. So there's no real need for Khamzat to go to the striking. What was the best moment of the fight for Drickus du Plessis? The last minute. What happened in the last minute? He was gifted. Get pissed off. Get pissed off. It's okay. He was gifted that last stand-up. Khamzat Chimaev was active from that guard. He was throwing punches. I know the fans want to see some more blood, but as far as the criteria goes, that should not have been stand-up. He was active with the position. He was punching away. He was landing punch after punch. They said a stat, it was the most ground and pound landed in UFC history. Maybe most total strikes. I want to see it. I want to see the stat. Most ground and pound in UFC history. You're standing him up multiple times? Come on. Drickus was given a gift to get back into that fucking fight. And what'd he do? Wasn't able to close the show. Khamzat Chimaev's a lot better, guys. A lot better. And now we get fun matchups. I mean, Khamzat as the champ. Who do we got up there? Fluffy Hernandez looked fucking incredible against Roman Dolidze. You got Rainier DeRitter, who is in the audience. You got Caio Barallo, who is in the audience. You know what those 3 have in common? They're great grapplers. They're outstanding grapplers. So maybe we can get a different look, right? When Khamzat takes Rainier DeRitter down, okay. Now you're in the guard of one of the best jiu-jitsu players in the world, and it's not a passive style either. Rainier's offense, offense, offense. I'd be very excited to see that matchup. Fluffy Hernandez, gas tank for days. He wants to grapple. Khamzat's about twice as fucking strong as pretty much anybody in the division. And the way he's using these clinches when he has his hands clasped and he's driving you onto your hands, he has a really, really special blend of wrestling with like a submission grappling. You saw him go to that choke. What was it? The end of the third, where he goes to the front headlock, locks up the choke, right? As the round ends. Khamzat could have been doing that, taking more risk. I think he'll watch this back and be like, I would have liked to get him out of there. But as far as like somebody who bet money on Khamzat, that was smooth sailing. Khamzat Chimaev looked good. Super excited to see him against a lot of these great middleweights. Or potentially he goes down to welterweight and fights for the title. Personal prediction, I don't think Dana's going to let him. Because he ain't staying there. Why the fuck would he stay there? He would try to go beat Islam Makhachev if people really need to get Islam beaten, or he beats, Jack Della Maddalena, and then he moves right back up. The cool thing about moving up is a lot of times people stay, right? Khamzat moving down, I don't believe it. It's a fucking tough weight cut, too. That boy was not small in that cage tonight. Really impressive shit by Khamzat Chimaev. Excited to see the future of the division with that dude. Let's fucking go. Co-main event. Lerone Murphy knocks Aaron Pico out in a stunner. And I gave Lerone Murphy out Monday night because I was concerned about the 18 months out for Aaron Pico, and I was concerned about the UFC debut. I think those two things did come to fruition. That read was correct because Aaron Pico couldn't quite find his defensive timing. He rips body shots all day, but the body's big. It's easy to find. His timing with the hands to the face wasn't quite there. He couldn't quite find it, and he gets paid for his aggression. Aaron Pico is one of the most exciting, aggressive fighters you will ever see. Offense, 10 out of 10. Defense? Lerone Murphy was able to catch him. Lerone Murphy was looking for those knees. Those were, when he was throwing those. And then finally catches him big, puts him out. Wow, that was a stunning knockout. It's tough to see such a good person like Aaron Pico out like that. All the best to Aaron Pico. He's going to be back. He's still in his 20s. He's exciting as fuck. I want to see him come up the right way in the UFC. They should take their time with him. He could be great. Aaron Pico could be great. I think Aaron Pico's got a great future. One of the most exciting guys you'll ever see. What a fast twitch athlete. I'm glad people got to see some of that offense get going. And Lerone Murphy, what a fucking moment for him. What a knockout. I mean, I love what the commentary said. They were like, he needed a moment. And he said it himself. He said the sport is about moments. Well, he just fucking created one of the most vicious highlights of the year, Lerone Murphy via knockout. You know who else scored a fucking knockout? Carlos Prates. Carlos Prates hits a wicked spinning back elbow on Geoff Neal. Holy shit. That was I was home like by myself. Had to fucking exclaim. That shit was brutal. Wicked. End of the round spinning back elbow for Carlos Prates, who was feeling himself, who was loose, who looked good, who looked, his boxing wasn't necessarily as good as Geoff Neal's, but everything else shined. His movement, his timing, his knees, his kicks, his elbows. Huge performance, gigantic finish for Carlos Prates, who moves right back into the fucking mix. The dude is explosive, and the dude is dynamic, and the dude is a wicked striker. That Muay Thai tattoo ain't for no joke. He can throw a fucking elbow. Spinning back elbow, my God. Yeah, he got the performance bonus on the spot, as did Lerone Murphy, and they fucking deserved it. Wicked by Carlos Prates, who I also gave a shout out in Premium Channel when I said my favorite picks of the main card were Carlos Prates, Khamzat, and then this next guy, MVP. MVP brings it home against a fairly game Jerrod Cannonier, who was able to get a takedown in that last round and get some ground and pound off, but MVP styling on him, really getting his hands going. I thought this was an impressive punching performance from Michael Venom Page, who we know is a phenomenal kicker, great movement, all that was there. But the way he was landing the straight cross, the way he was putting shots and showing head movement against Jerrod Cannonier made Jerrod Cannonier look slow and predictable. And he's really not. I mean, it's just that MVP's that fucking good with that style, moving his head. It's risky. I mean, it's fucking risky. The hands down stuff, you know, it's a risky style. He comes through with a nice W. Michael Venom Page looked fantastic against Jerrod Cannonier in those first 2 rounds, moves up in the division. Jerrod Cannonier, not the youngest guy. You know, Michael Venom Page, like he said, could fight in either division, 185, 170. And I feel like at 185, you got to think you can get a fun fight next. MVP, looking good. MVP Drickus du Plessis, I'm down. Tim Elliott takes out Kai Asakura. You know, sometimes when it comes to betting, it's just as important to identify the risks, you know? It's just as important to identify who is a risky bet. And I felt Kai Asakura as a 3-1 favorite was a risky bet because of the wrestling, the grappling, you know, of a Tim Elliott and the veteranship of a Tim Elliott. He's been there, done that. You saw how comfortable he was, even though he wasn't really, he doesn't have many weapons on the feet like Kai Asakura has. He was able to move with them, find a flow state, and he just needed to get, you know, to a good position one time to finish the fight. Nice guillotine from mount from Tim Elliott, and it kind of showed a hole in the game of Kai Asakura. He's going to need to level up that submission grappling if he wants to be a UFC contender. Kai Asakura drops to 21-6, but homie's very talented. He was hunting on the feet for sure. Kai Asakura is good. It's just that he ran into an experienced veteran like Tim Elliott. Aaron Pico is good. He ran onto somebody on a roll in the UFC. These guys who are on a roll in the UFC, who are welcoming the guys who are on their first or second UFC fights, it fucking matters, guys. And Tim Elliott showed why it matters. Basingur Susurkaev takes out Eric Nolan after getting rocked in the first round. I thought that line was ridiculous. Minus 1,200. Huh? Minus 1,200. It's his second UFC fight in 4 days. They really hate Eric Nolan. Eric Nolan cracked his ass at the end of that first. Didn't matter. Basingur Susurkaev gets to the top position, gets the choke, makes Khamzat Chimaev happy backstage. Susurkaev looked good. His kicking game's really nice. He just needs to, he can level up the hands. He can level up, you know, he covers a lot, right? And so I'm a little concerned against somebody who can fight well, hands high style, cut some angles on them, let combinations go, rip the body a little bit to bring those blocks down. I don't love the fucking, I just go in the shell thing, you know, but it worked for him against an Eric Nolan. Nice finish by Basingur Susurkaev, who, dare I say, is a little overhyped. Michael Oleksiejczuk takes out Gerald Meerschaert in a mopping. I mean, GM3, a real submission threat, didn't get to show that at all. Michael Oleksiejczuk comes out there, lets his fucking hands go, and gets GM3 to wilt, let's be honest. Very vicious performance by Michael Oleksiejczuk. Fighting Nerds looks good on him. The glasses don't look good on anybody, but you know what? The martial arts do. He looks better than ever. I think he's right. He's in his prime. He says, give me top 15. Fuck, of course he needs to be in the top 15 now. Give Michael Oleksiejczuk a big fight. Let's go. Lupita Godinez beating Jessica Andrade in a fucking war. Loopy Godinez, a bet that I've had for, 2 weeks now? Loopy Godinez is solid. She is hungry. She has cardio. She's got fast hands. She's a grappler. And she was able to win the first 2 rounds against Jessica Andrade, who had a good third, who was stalking her, who's a power puncher, you know, who throws her legs and her ass into everything she fucking lets go of. Left hooks, right hooks, uppercuts. She's powerful. And Loopy felt a little bit of that. But Loopy's output her cardio. And I think the timing in Loopy's career is just perfect right now. She scores the decision victory, 29-28 on all 3 scorecards. And that was the right call. Loopy Godinez gets it done in a fun fight with Jessica Andrade. Don't hate on the ladies' fights. See, the ladies' fights can be good. All right? Quit hating. Alex fucking Hernandez Knocked out Chase Hooper. Chase, one spinning back fist around. Max, you're cut off, kid. You're cut off from spinning back fists. Just like people try to cut Dustin Poirier off from the guillotine, somebody needs to cut you off from spinning, kid. That was too many, okay? And what happened to the fucking, you had a little bit better of a stance before. I started seeing some some basics. We kind of lost the basics in this fight, Chase. Kind of lost the basics, man. You got a little Gumby on me again. What's going on here with the striking? Why are you catfishing me on the striking, Chase? Rushes in. For what? For what? You were scoring more than Alex. It was a close round. But rushes in. Bro, you have a reach. Look how fucking long your limbs are. You spider. Makes a mistake. And Alex Hernandez capitalizes. Alex Hernandez's first knockout since 2021. And he does it against a guy who is one of the sharpest, most dangerous submission artists in the UFC. And was not even needing to ground and pound him, right? Like what I mean is like get down and actually finish the fight with the ground and pound. He was able to just lean over, stay on his feet, and throw punches from standing, which allowed Chase. He didn't have to pull him into the jiu-jitsu, right? You want to see when Chase gets dropped. All right, Chase, go to guard, make him come into your guard. Let's make him get out of an armbar or a triangle, right? Let's make him work there too. Chase, puts his head down forward. Alex throws a couple hooks, gets him out of there via stoppage. Hey, solid performance by Alex Hernandez. He threw like 9 fucking strikes he landed in the first round or something. And, gets it done. You can't fault Alex Hernandez. He looked good. He was moving with his legs real well. He was letting his feet take care of, positioning a lot. He was able to be nice and mobile and then explosive when he needed to be with the counter shot. He's comfortable in the UFC now. He's a veteran in the UFC. It was a good win for him. Drakkar, Klose, taking out Edson Barbosa via decision. Edson Barbosa definitely won the first round. Commentary team. What are we talking about here? Edson won round 1. Don't come to me with Edson didn't win round 1. Drakkar hurts him in round 2. And why? Why do I doubt Drakkar Klose? Because he has Edson hurt and then clinches him. He had Edson almost out on his feet. 1 or 2 more punches. It's a wrap. It's a wrap. But Drakkar Klose gets into a clinch where Edson was doing fine. He was getting the double underhooks. He was spinning him into the fence all night. Edson was doing fine in the clinch. Commentary team's like, he shouldn't be clinching. Why not? He was doing a lot better there than he was boxing. Edson Barbosa's hands looked slow tonight, guys. Edson Barbosa's hands look slow. It's a problem. Edson's getting old. And tonight, you never know when the first performances where you really see it. I really saw the hand speed slow down tonight for Edson. What a warrior, almost did enough in the third. I mean, it was competitive for sure, but comes up short in the third as well. Just not enough pop. Edson just a couple of years ago, I think can knock Drakkar Klose out, but it's 2025 and Edson Barbosa might be over it. Congrats to Drakkar Klose. And, I did miss the early prelims. Korean Silva, Dion Barbosa, Joseph Morales, Alibi Idris. I'm going to have to watch. I did decide to not touch those on the bets. Korean Silva, I did pick, but the Alibi Idris, he was 5-1 favorite. And I thought that was ridiculous, So I decided to look at that as a trap and just stay away from him. And of course, Joseph Morales gets it done. I'll watch it right now. But I wanted to bang out the recap. UFC 319, pretty fucking good. Even though some of you are going to hate on the dominant performance of Khamzat Chimaev, that's okay. You can hate. That's okay. All right. We got a good card next week. I will see you guys tomorrow night to break down the fights. I got a couple bets I already made on that one, so I will fill premium channel in tomorrow. DM at Mike Finch Show on Instagram if you guys want to see my bets. Until next time, as usual, it's peace and love.